This news made the top stories tonight. Lundu Sematan identifies as potential satellite launch site. Education key in preparing Sarawak for aerospace industry. Sarawak willing to spend big to host SEA Games. Good evening. The Lundu Sematan area has been identified as the potential location for the nation's satellite launch site. According to Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Abdul Rahman Zohari Tun Datuk Abang Openg, the decision was made due to the location's close proximity to the equator. He said this was discussed in a National Physical Development meeting chaired by the Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim last month.
Jadi kita kena pasti kawasan mungkin dekat Lundu Sematan. Kerana hanya lebih dekat dengan Hotel Istiwa atau mana di kota. Jadi kita bekerjasama dengan agensi Aerospace Malaysia bersama dengan kita dan kita mesti bersedia dari sudut tenaga.
He spoke to reporters after the launch ceremony of the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development KPWKM Kembara Kasih 2024 and the official opening of the Mobile Local Social Support Centre at the Kuching Waterfront on Sunday. Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Zohari added that the aerospace industry encompasses various aspects including satellites, semiconductors for manufacturing of chips, drones and aircrafts. Hence, he said ICATS University College and Swinburne University have been appointed for collaboration in introducing a new Bachelor of Aerospace Engineering program to produce skilled workforces for the industry in the future. Additionally, he said the Sarawak government, through the Land and Survey departments, is also working together with University Technology Malaysia with regards to the retrieving of satellites' geological data. Earlier in his speech, Datuk Patinggi Abang Zohari noted that education plays a key role in preparing Sarawak for the aerospace industry, which is set to drive the future economic developments of the state.
Satellite bermakna kita hendaklah melatih anak kita dalam industri aerospace. Sebab itu kita wujudkan fakulti aerospace di Universiti ICAT dan anak kita dapat dilatih dari sudut komponennya, dari sudut penerbangannya dan dari sudut value chain-nya yang akan memberikan pekerjaan yang lumayan kepada mereka selain daripada pertanian kita yang menggunakan teknologi.
Meanwhile, the event saw the presentation of mock checks by the Sarawak Premier to 10 community-based rehabilitation centres PPDK. Datuk Patinggi Abang Zohari also flagged off the KPWKM Kembara Kasih 2024, an 8-day convoy from Kuching to Lawas, consisting of 24 vehicles and 4 assets, including vans and buses from agencies under KPWKM. The Sarawak government is willing to spend significantly to host the Southeast Asian Games or SEA Games in 2027 to further develop sports in the state. Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Abang Zohari said the Sarawak athletes must continue to be exposed to the highest level to become world champions, thus shedding the label of Jagoh Kampung or village champions. He added that hosting the SEA Games would place Sarawak in the international sports map and increase its recognition globally.
Untuk kos SEA Games tu tinggi juga. Tetapi demi pembangunan anak muda, lebih-lebih bagi anak muda Sarawak, saya sanggup untuk menjadi co-host SEA Games. Dan apabila ini berlaku, jadi negara-negara yang akan datang tentu sekalinya tahu di mana Sarawak. Dan juga status kita dan juga prestasi anak muda Sarawak.
He said this during the 21st Malaysia Games SUKMA Incentives presentation ceremony for the Sarawak contingent in Kuching on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Sarawak Premier also expressed his high hopes for Sarawak to win the overall championship at the 21st Para-SUKMA scheduled to be held from the 22nd to 28th of September. In a move to inspire the athletes, he announced the incentive amount received by the Para-SUKMA medalists would be the same as awarded to SUKMA athletes.
Sampingnya kita doakan mudahan Datuk Seri Fatimah mendapat kejayaan dalam para SUKMA. Datuk Seri Fatimah pun target 83. Mudah-mudahanlah dapat. Saya pula kalkulit. Kena insentifnya serupa dengan SUKMA. Kalau nya berjaya 83, bermakna RM1,245,000 insentif untuk para SUKMA. Selain daripada untuk gol aja tu, sebelum lagi gangsa dengan Perak.
The highlight of the event saw the handing over of the SUKMA Challenge Trophy and the Champions Trophy to the Sarawak Premier by swimming athlete Kelly Yao Teo and strongman Jonah Chang Rigan. Both athletes were accompanied by wushu athlete Stephanie Chai Enmu, who carried the flag. The ceremony then continued with the presentation of incentives totaling of RM1.834 million to all medalists. Malaysia is stepping up its effort to implement the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) through the Voluntary Local Review (VLR), a tool designed to measure progress of SDGs at the local level. According to Deputy Minister of Economy Datuk Hanifah Hajar Taib, the VLR plays a critical role in identifying gaps and strengths in the nation's pursuit of sustainable development.
So voluntary local review will be a series of questions in terms of all the SDGs and finding out from that the answers of right, not right or wrong, but with how much they're participating into it.
She said this when being met by the media at the Pertubuhan Kebajikan Islam Malaysia Perkim Charity Half Marathon 2024, which was graced by KPWKM Minister Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri at the Sarawak State Library on Sunday. The VLR asks a series of questions about each SDG, enabling the government to gather crucial data. This feedback will inform future policy decisions and identify areas where Malaysia can intensify its efforts, particularly in addressing critical issues such as gender equality, social inequality, and poverty. Dato' Hanifah also emphasizes the importance of collaborations between federal and state governments, NGOs, and private organizations in ensuring that Malaysia remains on track to meet its SDG targets. And that's the English edition with me, Saiful Bahri Muhammad. More news can be found in our official portal ukas.sarawak.gov.my and social media platforms including Facebook and YouTube. We conclude the bulletin with a montage of the 21st SUKMA Incentives presentation ceremony for the Sarawak contingent held in Kuching on Saturday. #Saluran Informasi Rakyat. Have a good night.